Okay, good morning. So last time we changed a lot about the spawn character code, and I'm just starting now by just kind of dealing with a couple little bits here. So don't know what this is. Okay, yeah. So ally spawners. That's what we're doing today. So I'm looking at my when we have time, if we can get through like a nice little playthrough, then I'm going to start on the dialogue system. It's definitely one of those ones where a dialogue system, there's no dialogue options. It's just having the characters appear and then talk to each other and coding that. I've coded something very similar before, so I'll probably be pasting a lot of that, although it probably makes sense just to make it fresh. I'm definitely in one of those states where I've got a lot of different things on my list to figure out, and I don't know which one to do first. None of them are easy. None of them are chill. All of them will require a bit of brain power and patience and all of that. Requiring me to wear different hats. But we'll figure it out. But to start with, and yeah, so it's just like I kind of look at this list and I'm like, where do I start? What do I do first? And the answer is just to do something. Do one of them. Maybe do the one that I like the least first. And to start with, we're just going to do a little playthrough because we've done a big refactoring to the spawn character code. So what's this? This is when you get a summon item. Okay, yeah. And so in this case, we want to I'm just going to write it again, dot spawn character. And we're going to want to give it... we're going to do the one where we give it a name. Okay. So we spawn a random character. Spawn ally 3F. Okay. Is that going to just be one? Oh, that's for the artifact. I don't know why I thought that was the item. Yeah, so that makes sense. So it's going to be wanting to spawn a character in a range of 3 from the person who got the item. So we go character name, which is a bit awkward. Spawn character dot names random. So what we want actually is so this is very roundabout, it's not ideal, but this is kind of what we're asking for. We're just asking for the name of the character because we're just gonna switch that on from the list from a bunch of deactivated characters. And I suppose it's a good character. Oh, and ally spawners. What's wrong with that? gm.c.ally spawners. See, this is a bit roundabout, but this will have to be how we do it for now. Dot names. No. So basically, we're just finding the ally spawners. Dot ally dot character. Where can I get the actual? So open, close, open, 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 close, close, close. Dot brain. Okay, spawn character, and we want dot. We should be getting an ally spawner. Oh, that's a transform. Huh? Okay. Morning, Jack. How's it going? I played Tunic over the weekend. Have you played that game? It's a very good game. I mean, it's got its issues, but it's good. it's definitely one, like if you're a game dev or interested in game dev, it's definitely one to give it a try for sure. And it's on sale at the moment. Oof. So it's get component ally spawner. What do we name the ally spawner? Okay, so I think we can just say ally spawner dot name. This is so weird and roundabout, but it'll work. Position, and then we go. Yeah, all good. Yeah, yeah, definitely worth a try. Like I wrote my review on it, but basically it's like it's definitely one of those like nice cozy games that for me reminded me why I love games, which is always a nice thing. Lots of like secrets and things like that, and you know, just like a nice simple game. Although I found that, and I think this is because I couldn't figure out how to level up, because that's part of the puzzle. I ended up going into one of the bosses and having a really horrible time, and it wasn't such cozy fun anymore because I hadn't leveled up. And I think it's a cool mechanic to say, no, you're going to have to like figure something out in order to even learn how to level up. And I think that's fun and that's cool. However, the piece of feedback I would have is make sure that the player has learnt how to do that. So I would say something like make a little, like give them the tools to upgrade their attack, and then make like a door that they have to do a certain damage on in one hit in order to open that door. Something along those lines. That's just off the top of my head example. And then you can make sure that they've learned how to level up. But instead what I did is I had a really horrible time fighting one of the bosses, thinking this is way too much of a difficulty spike. Partly because I'm like not terrible at games. I had managed to get that far without upgrading any of my stats. It's like one of the last bosses. And yeah, that kind of ruined my fun a little bit. But you know, it was fine. Overall, really, really fun game. Okay, and then we go. So we get a name, and then if we ask for an origin, so we go, if we're using the new setup radius, so we say 3f, and then we say the origin is gm.c.player.position transform.position, and the team is gm.c.team0. And I want to go ahead and make sure that team is not serializable. Good. Team. Oh, it is serializable. No, I don't want that to be serializable. I think that's part of what causes issues. It means that we can't see it, but we only really need to see it if we're like debugging it, and that's a really annoying thing. So here, little random note: if you make something serializable, it means that sometimes, and this is the worst part, only sometimes, not always, rarely, it will interpret this serializable thing as instead of being a null name and null characters, it will treat it as, it will have a thing that has no name and an empty list of characters as opposed to being null. Oh, nice, yeah. Useful extension on Collider to easily create and draw raycasts. Okay. That sounds fairly advanced. Yeah, I mean, I guess the code for making a raycast is a bit like fiddly, and so it'd be nice to have that like just a bit tighter. Like, make me a raycast from here to here, you know, instead of all the net mess you have to do. I mean, it's like that for a reason. It's not like they were stupid. It's just, yeah, sometimes it's like the it's like my little one about reset transform. I would love it if Unity had an extension for each transform transform in any transform, destroy trans dot game object. I'm not going to make that tidy. And there's no extension to do that. It would be nice if there was just a reset or delete all in parent, you know, function. That would be nice, but there isn't one. So it's fun to like make these things. Okay, so that should fix that, and then we should have 0 compile errors. And then I'm expecting, if there's no bugs, that would be very impressive. So let's see. And see if we can just get through a playthrough and see if it brings up any bugs as a result of me having refactored this. Yeah, here we go. Like, there shouldn't be any. I always do this. Character container. Okay, I think this is something random that I changed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we make these little things that are useful to us, but not necessarily useful to a lot of people. Like maybe my like delete all transforms within a transform isn't actually that common. But actually, I've seen it used in like tutorials and stuff. But maybe it's just like it's you're turning 3 lines into 1 line, which isn't necessarily useful. So on my character container, apparently we don't have the collider set. Yeah, which is a bit mad. Okay, interesting. Yeah, one thing, I mean, like, do it how you know best. One thing that I learned, like, having spoken to a senior programmer as well, is they told me that you generally, and this is born true, you don't want functions, like, you don't want the code that's sitting on the item, you don't want that to do anything. You would like to have, like, a parent object, or, like, a sort of, not necessarily a parent, but an overseeing object that governs all of the items, rather than the items each running their own code, you know. I don't know if I've misunderstood you there, but yeah, it's like you don't want the script, the item, to be doing the script. I mean, I do that all the time, but yeah, I recently learned after I started this project that was a bad idea, apparently. Okay, killer mana. Oh yeah, here we go. Problems. Spawn character.name. Okay, so what's the issue? So is it here that's the issue? No, where's the issue? Where's the actual issue? Spawn character. Sometimes it, usually it puts the compile error like at the actual bit that isn't working. Yes, I'm just thinking you might want to. I need to stop thinking about other people's code, but yeah, you might want to have like so the item would send a message to a parent like a game manager, which will then return like do the thing. Wait, team what? Okay. Ah, this is because I made this like non-serializable. Well, that's good. That's the kind of bug I want to see appearing. So where do we? So gm dot team. So team 0 dot name. Yeah, okay. So I do actually want to like set up these teams. Okay, yeah, so we're doing all of this in GM, and I think I do need to say so team 0 dot, what do we have? It's just characters and name. And when we make the list, yeah, it's creating a new list, and the name needs to be, and it really doesn't matter. It just needs to be different from the other ones. Okay, that should fix that. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I have it too. I mean, I do the same thing. So like when the character takes damage, like there's a script on the character that dies. And I guess apparently what I should do, and I don't know if this is necessarily better, but just have another code that like does what it does when it dies, or like that's held on another script. Like the script that goes on the object should pretty much only contain information and only occasionally have a function which tells another script to actually do the meat of the task. I think it's because problems can occur if it's happening on, if too many different scripts are running something. Okay. Okay, that seems to have worked. So let's just get rid of these debugs because they're going to get annoying. Oh wait, did that happen again? Did that not clear on play? That not clear on play? Huh, interesting. Well, that is odd. Did that just not clear on play? It should clear on play. Okay, well, it's working. Okay, so if we've got going for an armor build, buffs allies with armor and damage, that's not accurate anymore. I mean, I'm going to do all the descriptions in one go, but I can also kind of just do them as I see them. Bannerman, buffs allies. More. Just so at least it can be vague. Right. Heal is good. Oh yeah, and we no longer, I mean, I might roll this back, but at the moment we no longer heal on fully on level up. But this appears to be working despite all the changes, which is very nice. Oh, and I've got 5 rerolls. That's not accurate. Where did I put that? Yeah, this should just be 0 by default. And then we have, so what should we pick? Guess I'll pick Looter. And then like having some form of healing becomes OP. Because like not having it means like certain death basically. So yeah, there's much more balancing to it. It's kind of mad because I have just thrown the balance of the game completely out, which kind of actually invalidated a lot of the work I've done already. But I think it was a worthwhile change. Having the armor as a grey bar above the head rather than just a straight damage reduction, I think is an improvement. Okay, let's get the Bannerman then. And we seem to be like steamrolling it, which is interesting. Okay, yeah, we're getting random buffs. I think one of the buffs and the status effects is like the next big thing I have to look at. Yeah, like just the visuals for those. Okay, yeah, crit rate, I guess. For some reason, I never feel like picking boots, and I think it's because movement speed actually isn't very useful in this game. So that could be another one for the chopping block. Like, I just never feel like picking it, but maybe players will want to pick it. Okay. And yeah, it does feel like we're just a bit OP with this armor. It just means your army dies a lot less, especially with the healing. So I have a feeling that this run's going to turn into a bit of a like we're going to blob out. We're just going to overwhelm the enemy in this run. And it's going to be really hard to for the enemy to actually challenge us. So we'll see how that goes. Don't know what weapons to pick. I guess Fireball, even though we've already got a combo appearing there. So that makes for a nice pick. Yeah, I really want armor. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend for your first game, try and make something that takes as little time as possible, just so you can get used to the whole process of like making a game and selling it on Steam and stuff, and just make like a 2-3 quidder, you know, one that costs less to make and costs less to buy. That's what everyone says. Keep it simple. Like, I definitely didn't do a great job of keeping it simple. Where's armor, for God's sake? So many picks and we haven't got armor. Armor's like my entire build. But we are getting nice little buffs from having lost armor when that does happen. Yeah, I need to pick armor as soon as I see it, regardless of whatever else is on offer. Armor. Yeah, like, so this game has taken like 6 months all in. I've had lots of time off, like childcare and like doing other random little jobs and stuff. Little bits of freelance work and but yeah, generally games take a long time to make, but they don't have to, and if you're smart they take less long to make. Okay, I mean, I think what I've got out of this is that it's working. The game is working, despite all the big changes, which is always really nice when you make some fairly fundamental changes to the code and then find that it actually just works out the box, which is very rare and very nice. Nice welcome advantage there. But yeah, I mean, in theory, you can make a game in a couple weeks that will sell millions of copies. Like, people have done that. Like, small teams have done that. This game, I feel like, is taking way longer than I thought it would. It was supposed to be this simple little thing. But I guess one of the things is I started playing it, and I started really having fun with it. So I was like, let's keep going, you know? Let's make this work. Like, it deserves the attention to actually like iron out all the kinks and actually give it like a proper progression, so it's not just, oh, do missions and then get like do missions or do runs of the game and then unlock stuff. I wanted to have like a different progression system, and I wanted to make sure it actually all makes sense and it works, and update the graphics as I go. So it's ending up taking quite a while. There it is, armor. Okay, so now, yeah, priests spawn in with armor, although they don't have it straight away. And then so armor, I guess we should pick something that combines with armor. Oh, I've got to be a lot more careful of myself, although the healers should heal me up to full pretty quickly. So yeah, I guess the time a game takes like depends on like how much does it need? How much does it need to like get the full effect of the game? You know? Like, is this a game that's just kind of one and done, finish it and put it out there? Or is it a game that deserves you to put a year of work into it, you know? Like, the game I made, Love Quest, was definitely like a, let's just get this one out because this one's never going to be a hugely popular game. So I spent like a couple months on it. But this one is like, oh, actually, this is something new, this is something interesting, I should give it the time it deserves. So it's probably going to take like another 3 to 6 months of like actual, you know, all in, like breaks and childcare and all, to actually finish. Oh, hello. What's this? Spawn pack. Okay, but that's not where the actual bug's going to be, is it? Because we spawned packs. So sometimes with it's a new character container equals new character container. Okay, so what's the problem here? So this is the pack that spawns at 7 minutes. So what changes at 7 minutes? So we go enemy spawner and we go to my lovely spaghetti. Orc, green bean. And we find what happens at 7 minutes. Okay, so either the Orc 2 or the Brawler, or it's actually the pack that's having a problem. Orc 3, Goblin Ranger, it's a pack. So something in here. And where is that? Where is this bit of code? So we haven't had a new, so it hasn't gotten a team, basically, is what I'm thinking. So when we spawn, but that's funny because we've definitely spawned packs. So this is spawn character. Just comes from here. We say spawn pack. Spawn enemy. Why is it pointing to all these different spots for a pack? That must have just been my imagination. So we go, right, spawn character, name, position, team, and it's not resurrected. And we say spawn enemy. What? Wait, so is it the pack? Spawn character. Where did I get spawn pack from? Is that just my imagination? Yeah, spawn pack. So what's that got to do with spawn enemy? Spawn... That doesn't make any sense. Okay, mystery. So we start here. We say, oh no, we start. And I wish I could just go to 7 minutes. Can I actually do that? Let's see if I can make the bug happen again. So if we go to enemy spawner, so green means, and it's waiting for, okay, so we'll just go, we'll just do a cheeky one here where we say HUD dot seconds equals minutes and seconds. Okay. Dot minutes equals 7. And just double checking that is where I was in the game. Yeah, so 7 minutes, something happens. And let's just see if I can get this to happen again, because then I can much easier debug it much easier. And then gm.c.minutes.seconds hud.seconds equals I guess that doesn't matter, but let's say 0. And let's see if that causes the bug again. But yeah, I mean, overall it seems to be working. I think there's probably just like a character that's named incorrectly or something like that. Something to do like specifically with the brawler, like the characters that are added there. But it's really weird how it's like tangled up between spawn one of the guys from the special list and spawn a pack. Those are totally different things. So why did the debug seem to have them tangled up? So 3 seconds. It now becomes 7 seconds, and then let's just wait for like, give it time for a pack to spawn. And I'm probably going to want some kind of like infinite health glitch or something, infinite health bug. Because it might take 30 seconds for it to spawn. Ah, It's amazing. So the goblins have slightly higher range than me. Okay, this is annoying. Right. So at 7 minutes. What happens at 7 minutes? Like I don't know whether it's a problem with spawning the pack or and let's just do, let's make a cheat. Let's do H. So I can just press H to heal myself. Okay, so we're not. I'm going to change the name of this stream because we're not doing setting up story mode. We are bug fixing, testing and fixing. I don't have a delay set on my video. Maybe that's like a default thing. Oh, but we found the bug, I think. Yep, same thing happened again. Okay, that's good. So when we spawn character, so what is the problem? If new character container is equal to null, debug.log character name debug.log team.name. I haven't got a delay set on my video. Can I change that? That might just be like natural internet speed or something. I'll have a look into that. I don't know why that is. But I don't have one set. I didn't do that on purpose, at least. And I don't know where that setting is. I can look into that later. Is it a problem? Is it that you're like, we can't communicate because the delay is too long? But yeah, it does feel like talking to someone in a different time zone. Okay. Right. So hopefully we can get more. I can speed up the game a bit. Oh yeah, I mean I think there's a natural delay. There's a natural delay which we can't. Oh, is that just the loot goblin? Why is even the loot goblin appearing? And apparently the goblin ranger is the problem, and then the team.name is null. So when we spawn the goblin ranger, that's so bizarre. GM.seed@team1. Team. Okay, yeah. Team 1. And why is that only happening to the Goblin Ranger and only at this point? It seems now the problem is coming from enemy spawner. Is that just like a... So before it was with like the pack or something, spawn enemy... I don't understand what could possibly be the problem. Is this the right... Yeah, team is team. Team is team. But team.name gets set to null. Why? How? And why only then? Very, 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 very bizarre. Okay, so... Ah, I'm a moron. As always, the answer to the question, who killed Roger Rabbit, it's me, again, as always. Just being an idiot. Okay, I'm confident that'll fix the issue. And I kind of just have to say, okay, this is like working for the most part. So I'm not going to go in and try and like recreate that bug again. I'm going to let it happen again if it happens. So we'll go back into here and get rid of this line. Yeah, it's always something simple. Coding is like an exercise of like, find out how and when you are stupid. In my case, you know, it's like, you're gonna, you know, it's like you're your own worst enemy. Coding is the boss fight where you have to fight the mirror self. It's like, yeah. Okay. So, the game basically works. Okay, can I just continue making this a bug fixing stream? Okay, so... I'm going to do one. Apparently, like the bomb effect kept happening randomly, but I wonder now if I've kind of homogenized sprites, items. Oh yeah, so item is just a prefab. Yeah, so I'm just going to... I haven't heard that happen again since, so I'm just going to quickly... do it. You know what? I'm just in the effort for the sake of time. I haven't heard this happen again. I'll rebug that if it happens again. Okay, is vengeful reset happening properly? So I wanted to check that vengeful reset. So when a unit dies, vengeful reset. I don't think it is happening properly. So let me see. Object character dot reset. But if it's Vengeful. So we go vengeful artifacts. Okay. And the person, so the object character is whoever died, I think, actually, which is not right. So if it's vengeful, so yeah, this is unlikely to work. So this makes sense. I might just have to go back to the spaghetti mode because I think a lot of these are quite different. This is like a nice funnel for all the artifacts, but basically we say if the subject character is player, except the subject character would never be player. It's someone who died. So let me just double triple check that this is in fact, yeah, so the character takes damage. And so let's think of all the use cases. So we've got vengeful critical, which should happen on the person who did the attack. The subject character is the attacker. Because obviously, like, it's no good if we reset. If we reset the the weapons of the person who just died. So if it's critical, it would be the attacker. If it's holy, it would be vengeful. Wait, no, that's the proc. I'm thinking of the outcome. So if it's extra, there's no extra. If it's summon, if it's heal, it should heal the damager. This chicken. Except if it's vengeful reset, that resets the player when an ally dies. So that is bloody awkward. So vengeful chicken, drop a chicken, doesn't matter who. Vengeful mana always goes to the player. Vengeful buff should buff nearby units. So I need to look at that. So if it's vengeful, so yeah, vengeful. See, I'm kind of losing my head. All right, so vengeful summon will summon a unit. That doesn't matter who it is, but vengeful heal should heal the subject character. No, it should heal all units. So vengeful's a weird one then. Vengeful's going to work differently because it's not going to happen to the person it happened to. So let me just think, like, vengeful heal heals everyone. Vengeful buff should buff everyone. Vengeful reset should reset the hero. Vengeful explosion should explode on the character that died. So explosion would be object character. And object character is indeed this. So the explosion happens on this. And if it's a heal, it should happen on the attacker. So the subject character gets healed. But if it's vengeful reset, if subject character, so we need to make like an exception here just for that. If subject character is player, so if the player is the one who did the killing, that's not going to proc. If the object character, so that would be this character. Generally, that would be the case, but if artifact dot proc is equal to artifact proc dot vengeful, then treat it differently. And so yeah, vengeful should just act differently to, like, vengeful is an outlier. Okay. So let's sort that out. So like, I guess the easiest way would just be to make some spaghetti. So we say if artifact dot proc is equal to dot vengeful, then in that case if it's a heal, then we're not interested in the object character, like the character who did the healing, or no, like if the outcome is heal, then it's heal all allies. And let me check. Vengeful heal, vengeful. But it drops a chicken, drops a mana gem. But the buff, okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. So we want to say, what's wrong with this? Okay, yeah, it's a case, right. Okay. If it's vengeful, so we don't have vengeful heal, we have vengeful chicken. If it's, so it's only buff and reset. And in this case, okay, yeah, we've already handled this. If the so we've already dealt with this problem. Oh dear, how embarrassing. So if the proc is vengeful, then we buff all. Okay, so we just need to do something like that, where if artifact proc is vengeful, then do something, otherwise do this. You gotta love yummy spaghetti. And if it's vengeful, in that case, then gm.c.playerCharacter player.reset. And I think that's how we want to do it. We want it to be that it resets the player character. Let's double check the text on that. Hero resets weapon cooldowns on ally death. It could be that everyone resets weapon cooldowns as a chance on ally death, but I think this one is more interesting. And again, I think with all artifacts, we're going to make them a bit more bespoke. Like, we're going to make them, like, this one seems like quite demonic, right? It's like, I'm going to benefit from the death of my allies, meaning I'm a kind of hero focused build. So like, I want to be near the enemy when my allies are dying. Okay, so then we don't need this, and I think that should solve the problem. And I'm confident that will work. And again, in the interest of time, I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, let's just do that then. Okay, so vengeful. And can I bake this into the cheat for ease of use? So we go. Artifacts to add vengeful reset, and can we do this? So we go dot chance equals 1. Will that work? I think that should work. That just makes it easier for me to test, because I just want it to happen every time so I can test that the outcome is working. And then I can very confidently take this off my list. Yeah, testing and fixing. That's what we're doing. And then maybe later we'll attack one of these other things. I just don't know what I want to do first, because we've got to do stages. We've got to do SFX. I just don't want to do any of these things. We could do all of this and just get shit out of the way. But I kind of want to get the big systems in, so I think I will, be like, oh, if you're on this mission in the story, then play this scene and make sure the scene works and it doesn't interrupt the gameplay. And also have it like, oh, if you're at 1 minute in and you're on this mission in the story, then make this scene happen and then spawn a bunch of characters over here and give this upgrade for free or something like that. Okay. So we do our cheat, and that should add the buff. Okay, yeah, apparently that worked. How can I test it? It looks like it's working. I mean, it's proccing the buff at least. It's hard to tell. I need to give my character a really slow weapon, but it does seem... It does seem like it's resetting. And I'm going to die if I'm not careful. Okay, I'm just going to confidently say that that worked. So, vengeful reset is update buffs tanking frame rate. Yeah, so I go to analysis, profiler, and this should mess with like just having the profiler on tends to tank the frame rate a bit. But what I'm seeing is every second we go slightly below 60 frames per second for a frame, which is probably fine, but I just want to see if I've like done anything stupid. It might just be like it's necessary, because we have to, so basically every second we count down all the buffs on every character by a second. You see that little blue? That's script, and you see it's happening 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's happening every second on the dot. And I want to know exactly where that's coming from. So I'm going to go to... oh, lovely. I'm going to go to GM. Update buffs, and the first thing I'm going to do is just turn all of this off so it does nothing, and see if that just means that we don't get that anymore, because it's possible. I'll just don't then. I hate this. It's like, oh, you haven't put a thing in. It's like, well, just don't do anything then. It's fine. Leave it. Chill out, mate. And I just want to see if then these spikes disappear, because then I know that those spikes are coming from... and it's not even below 60 FPS, and it's probably like that's just something that we're just going to have to leave in. I just wanted to investigate this issue, because maybe I can be a bit cleaner with my update buffs code. Obviously we had these big garbage collection moments. Oh no, it still happens. So what is happening every second? that is just ramping up. So it's not buffs. It's not buffs. Sadly, I can't look in and see which script is doing that. Because like scripts isn't here. And I think it really is, you just have to like switch things off. So like, what happens every second? So let's find this. So it's buffs. Close chest. Okay. Mama. What is updating every second? Okay, that's interesting. So if I click the frame, if I can zoom in a bit here, can I just zoom in? You might be about to change my life. So if you can help me out there, so you can click the frame on the profiler and it should show me in the hierarchy. Is it timeline? I'm not seeing anything called hierarchy here. Because I think it's good at showing things like animation or UI. It's not good at highlighting the specific script, which is actually eating the frame rate. Hierarchy menu in the profiler. Oh. Okay. Well, first of all, GPU usage, because that's the one that's apparently... So yeah, no, I don't know. Cheers, yeah. Should we expand this so we get the full size of it? Because maybe it's one of these. Yeah, because it's this frame. Is that fixed update? I just don't know how I would begin to search for this. Because it could be something fun. Is it items? Is it item container? No, because that's like I just want to know what is calling that. Like what is happening every second that is apparently too expensive. Scripting threads. Is it the profiler itself? And like, what is the? Oh, go away. Why is it not? Yeah, let me look at the time. Wait, why is it doing that? Yeah, no, yes, yes, indeed, I would like to see that, and I don't want to have to click you away each time. I want to just look, see if I can spot the difference. Just, why is this here? What is this? I never asked for this. I never asked, like, what the hell is that? Okay, timeline, yeah. This is bloody annoying. Yeah, okay, yes, I can see that. Yeah, but that's so annoying. Like, I don't know what I clicked on to make that happen, but that's really annoying. I just want to see what's the main difference, and like, where is it actually? Timeline. Ah. Okay, that's Go away! Honestly, what is this? What is this thing? Is this... Did I just like recently turn this on? Just... What the hell is this? I want to see the thing. Stop telling... It's like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like, no, I want to see it. Like, what the hell is that? When did I turn that on? Did I turn that on just now? I've never seen that before today. Yes, I know. Just let me see it, please. Yes. I want the timeline view. Can I... Okay. But like... This is extremely frustrating. Why are you... Why is it like hiding my view every time I click on that bit? Like, it's just not letting me see the bit I want to see. Fixed update. gm.fixedupdate. Okay, yeah, we do have stuff there, so that helps. So it's going to be something in here. So okay, so this only happens if it's paused for each team and team list for each character. So this, I mean, this is handling weapons. And it's handling movement. Is it this? Because basically what this does is it makes sure that the characters are facing the right way and stops them moving if they don't have a target. It's like this happens every second to avoid it attempting to happen every frame. And basically updates their target. So this is the movement for the enemies and the non-player characters. So if I just like commented this out for a second, does that fix the problem? Obviously we cannot be without movement, and I think if that spike is just a result of characters moving, then we're going to have to live with it. But it's good because it gives me somewhere to look. Like, okay, if there is a problem with optimization, maybe I can look at that and find room to make it tidier. Because, yeah, that's going through each character. So let's get Profiler open again. I don't know why I closed it. Pop that in here. And press play and see. It is that expensive because it's going through every single character and basically like It's still there. But it looks like that's where it was pointing me to. Okay, so it's not that. Or what if we just reach weapon container. So this is saying, so we're checking every frame. So this is probably a problem. We're checking every second. No, we're checking every frame. But then why is it, if it's fixed update, why is it a problem like every second? So let's just, I just want to take all of this then and just comment it all out. Because if that's fine, then basically the profile is lying to me about what the problem is. So obviously not a lot's going to happen if it... yeah, you'd think it would grow as there are more characters in the scene. But it doesn't really. And of course, again, visually, just playing the game, if you couldn't see those spikes, you wouldn't know that there was a problem. So it is just like, I just noticed because it was happening every second on the dot, that it's probably something that I can do something about. Yeah, it's still happening there. So it's not here. Okay. Let's see if the profiler can give us more information. So we look at hierarchy. We get one of our dodgy frames. Wait, that's not lined up. That's really awkward. Okay, it's probably just a minor bug. So we go here, yeah. Hierarchy. And then I guess I'm looking for what is eating the most bytes, right? Something like that. GM to update all targets. That would be an obvious culprit. So let's just try that then. I mean, obviously we can't live without this code, but update all targets. And if we just said stop doing that, does that deal with these spikes? What do we do with update all targets? Because I think what we do is we do them all and then we this shouldn't be happening every second. It just kind of waits until... But if I get rid of that, does then that disappear? Does that then disappear? I mean, again, it's a bit silly because it's kind of a non-issue, isn't it? Like if the game's running smoothly. The spike at the beginning there is, if that's what you're talking about, is something else. Okay, yeah, it's still there. So there's something. Oh, cheers. Yeah, that would be nice. There's something that is happening every second that is causing a spike. And it's not even that. Despite that being the major bit of code that we have. Which I have to say, for getting all the characters in the scene and getting them to point a weapon at each other and that's not causing the thing to spike, I'm quite pleased with myself for having managed to do that. So we click on a bit, we get rid of this annoying thing, and we go raw hierarchy, And I guess we want to say like what is the the milliseconds. What is editor loop in Unity Profiler? What is the editor loop? Oh, okay. So I think that might just be the pain from. Yeah, I think that might actually just be like because if you run your game in Unity, then it's going to run a bit slower than if you ran it outside of Unity, basically. Okay, well, I'm going to say that I investigated this. I couldn't figure it out. I could sit here banging my head against this wall for a bit longer, but I think short of some sort of moment of some eureka moment or some kind of like getting some like third party script doctor to come and help me, coding Jesus would be nice, to come and help me figure out what that is. I'm gonna have to just move on since optimization isn't actually a problem, and if I'm gonna improve optimization, there's other places to look, namely switching to a non-physics method for movement and kind of like target batching. So like instead of everyone picking a target, they can kind of follow a leader type thing, or like have like if there's a bunch of units, instead of picking from all the available enemy units, they pick in like a circle around them kind of thing, and then kind of expand that circle until they find something. Like there are ways that I can optimize the game further, and I know what to do, so there's no point me finding this, finding this little spike. So I'm gonna call that done. Profile on a remote device. Oof. Well, no, I mean, I think the thing to do, like, I just do build and run, and I say if the game is running smoothly, then it's running smoothly, and I don't need to, like, figure out what's causing issues. So I'll close the optimizer, because the optimizer is that window takes up stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out, or we won't. But the game will be optimized. The game will run smooth. So test chicken rain. Let's just knock shit off the list. Get the stragglers. Get the little weak ones that I can hit first. The little, the weak links in the chain, and just make my list appear smaller. And then maybe tomorrow we'll do an SFX run just to catch up with that. So what's next? Test chicken rain. Just want to make sure this works, because there's a chance that it won't because of the new item system. So I just want to see. It would be really nice if it worked. So we'll go player, controller, and we're going to get the upgrade. Chicken rain. Is that what it's called, or is it called Reign of Chicken? I should know. I made the game. I should be going upgrades.reignofchicken.name, or just getting it directly, but chicken rain. Reign of Chicken. Okay. I don't know why I called it that instead of Chicken Rain, but okay. So I'm going to press play, and I'm going to go for a quick smoke. I'll be right back. Yes, I'm smoking again, Jack. I know. Well, I just got a pack. We'll see how that goes. A 10 deck. All right, I'll be back in 5. Right. Yeah. No, I mean, just quitting smoking is hard. The thing that's really nice is for these coding sessions, it's nice just to have an excuse just to step outside for 5 minutes. But maybe I should just make that a habit, like every hour. Just kind of go outside and breathe. Okay, straight away. Oh, that looks like it's... I just lost the mouse. Ha! Okay. And now it's just going to work, right? No? See, no, yeah. Component item. No, so we're getting component item effect equals... yeah. Okay, so we need to do this like differently. So this isn't going to be an easy one. This isn't going to be an easy one. So I think I'm just going to like make an entirely separate system. Because basically what I did, so a rainmaker, and this is like fairly like an old thing, but it was just like this idea that here's an effect that's just going to be popping things off randomly. But I don't think that's the way to do it. So let's go with... so when we add the upgrade Reign of Chicken, so we go apply upgrade, and we say Reign of Chicken. We don't want to make a Rainmaker. We want to make like... No, we just want to... Like, I'm just going to do some gnarly shit, right? I'm just going to say... I'm going to make like a bull, which will be like Reign of Chicken is on. Yeah, we'll make a simple bull. Reign of Chicken equals but then how do we get the frequency of it? So Reign of Chicken will be a float. What is this? Okay, weapon Chicken Reign 2. And then so weapons, so we'll put this here because these are the ones we're working with, and weapons. Okay, and Reign of Chicken Reign. Oh god, that's so awful. Alright, never mind. So then Reign of Chicken down here. And this has a Chicken Reign effect, but that's a weapon. So no, we don't need that. I won't delete it, but I just won't pay attention to it. So we don't need this. And what is the difference between each of these? Chicken Reign effect. It's like... I think that's really dodgy. It's like set up on the prefab, which I've now learned while I've tried it in this project and didn't do it in older projects in a similar way. It's like, that's not the way to do it. Like, it's nice to be able to modify things in the editor and have that kind of visual grasp, but it's actually easier just to do it in script. Rain. So we just say, yeah, since this is the only case of it, because I'm not going to have one that like rains mana or anything like that. Reign of Chicken equals, and we know the sort of seconds we want it to be. I don't know where it gets that from. Reign of chicken, and then I think we say rainmaker. No, okay, so it's just going to have like a frequency. Reign of chicken equals, and it's going to be like 8 to 4 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. So let's do 7. Reign of chicken equals 7F, and so this goes away, and each of these, we don't need to destroy the previous rainmaker. We go 7, 6, 5, 4. 4 is our magic number, so we work down to that. Obviously, this will need balancing. How many chickens should really be spawning? Like, if you're getting a chicken every 4 seconds, that's probably OP. So maybe we do actually go from like, should be every 8 seconds. I don't know what's OP, what's not OP. Let's go 8 to 5. I just want to get it to work right now. I'm not going to worry about balancing. Balancing is a big one for later, and then we'll have a little lovely, tidy, neat and clean bool right at the bottom. Private bool reign of chicken equals 0. Okay, and then in update, okay, this is old code. We can delete this because we're confident that was from ages ago. So, and we say rain, if rain is greater than 0. See, yeah, that's going to be like a timer. Okay, yeah, let's embrace the spaghetti. So next to, wait, where did that go? I thought it was at the top. Oh yeah, reign of chicken equals private float reign of chicken equals 0f, and private float chicken timer. This is so awkward, but it really is just, at the moment, it's just for one case. Chicken timer equals, let's say 8. If reign of chicken is greater than 0, chicken timer minus equals time dot delta time. If GM, if paused, if it's not paused. Yeah, well, so Human Factory was 3D. This is technically, well, this isn't 3D really because nothing can jump, but it's 2.5D. I guess Blacksmith was the same. It was 2. So like you had a 2D guy that could move on a flat plane, and he would move back. So visually, it was 3D. And I tend to just make all of my projects 3D because I actually find the restriction of 2D is not that helpful. So. But yeah, like a 3D action game, like I don't see myself making that just because like that requires like nice animation and models and stuff, which is not something I'm equipped to do. That was the main problem with Human Factory, is that basically I wasn't really good enough or well equipped enough to make 3D models compelling. The main one was actually sound as well. Like I don't have the resources to or the skill to make a factory game. But like, yeah, I would consider it, but generally I stick to 2D, even if it's a Unity 3D project. So a very awkward answer. The short answer, yes, I would do a 3D game, but I'm good at designing systems and like RPG mechanics and things like that. I'm not so good at like level design and environments and things like that. So, okay, so chicken timer mine equals time to delta time. If chicken timer is less than 0, chicken timer equals reign of chicken, and then we say drop item chicken. How do we drop item? Item name chicken, and we drop it at. I need a universal bit of script which is get me a random point So it would be like, and I give it a short name: public static void get random position, where we say we need an origin and we need the space in between origin and a radius. And then we say, and then I need, so I'm just going to put some spludge here so I know how to find it easily. Spawn character, and then we use this spawn position angle, and this is not a void. I used to just think void was the thing, but no, this is a public static vector3 get random position, and so we'll copy this here. Within the radius, and then we say out spawn. Is that right? Out spawn position. How do I return spawn position? Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to take your help. The issue is I can't pay you, and I would want to pay you, and I don't want to share the profits. But like, yeah, I mean, if you know you're here on these streams, if you see any bits that you think could do help with, like, I'm not good enough at delegating yet, where I could say, oh, I just need like something that does this. Like, I would just want to do it. The time it would take for me to explain it, I could just code it. But I appreciate the offer. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. If you can think of a way to help, then let me know. So get random position, float radius, and then I would also want another one that's like includes a minimum position as well. And then I would want to do stages dot keep within stage spawn position, so that will just say don't ever put it outside of like the bounds of the level. And then we've got a thing that says get random position, and then I say drop item, and then the position is get random position gm.c.play, oh no, just player dot transform dot position, and the radius is, let's say, 4. And that should work. It should drop a chicken randomly around me, and as we change this upgrade, then we're just modifying that number, and you could never lose rain of chicken at the moment, so you wouldn't. I don't have to deal with like this number getting destroyed, or like, you know, and that should do it. And then what I should be doing, so this get random position is like, and I'm not going to do this now, but spawn character, I shouldn't need this, because what I can do, like basically I would just do that whenever I call it. Let's do it. Let's be crazy. So if we say spawn character radius origin, if I just comment those out and then look for where the errors appear, and this would say gm.get random position c.player transform position. Where did I have that before? Yeah. And then that's actually much cleaner. That's much cleaner. I need to pay attention though. That's much cleaner. Well, yeah, I mean, I would love to have like people working for me for experience and exposure, but I spent too long as a freelance editor doing lots of work for exposure, and I just feel it's a bit cruel. But like, I don't know. Let me think. If so, if you were to pledge your keyboard to me, to my banner, I don't know what I would have you do. Like, for example, I could say, oh, could you come up with like a way to make it so that story points happen? Like, I just think it's more effort than it would take for me to just code it. Like, in the time it takes for me to describe to you what to make, I could just describe to the computer what to do. How else could I? Like, I could be an absolute dickhead and say, can you go through all of this code and refactor it and make it so that, like I've explained this a bunch of times, but like make a static character. So for each upgrade in this list, make a static upgrade and then go through each of these, and instead of adding to the list a new upgrade and then defining the upgrade in that addition, I would say, can you say, so it would be upgrade.names equals descriptions.name equals, and then add it to the list. But again, I could probably get an AI to do that, and that just seems like really harsh. Like, it just seems like that's not going to be much fun. If you need experience, I would say just make stuff. Yeah. Like if you could go in and be like, can you find ways to optimize this? But I think for now we'll just don't worry about it. Wait, so this is transformed opposition, yeah. So yep, so it would go here as well, except this would be 3. Wait, is that right? No, just transformed a position in 3. Like it would have to be like from the beginning. I don't know. How would I do that? Like I would rather like give you an entire game to program, you know? I would rather give you an entire game to program and just be like, make a game and we'll sell it under the same banner and we'll advertise it on the same YouTube channel and that kind of stuff. Because that way, like, I think people are better off just like owning their own projects. Yeah. Yeah, I say just like make your own little game, and like again, if you have any like questions or like shit that isn't working, um, you know, like because that's what happened to me. Like I would be learning to code and everything, and I would find myself bumping into massive walls and being like, I can't figure out how to fix this. And yeah, in most cases, just a simple someone telling me, like I could have showed it to someone and they probably could have looked at it and said, ah, here's your problem. This is why this isn't working. And that would have made my life a lot easier. 5, 6, 7, 8. Chicken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chicken. Good. It's working. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Worms. I used to love Worms. And I had no one to play it with. But I just really loved having an enemy to get to and realizing that I didn't have to like sacrifice my units going over, but just tunneling under and just shooting them all from below. That was fun. And then I remember playing Hogs of War, which was like a 3D version of that, which wasn't very good, but I enjoyed it. Actually, no, I wanted to like it and I thought it would be good, but then I played it and I was like, yeah, I like this game. It's like Worms, but 3D, and then just stopping. Because it actually wasn't that good. Yeah, Worms was great. I think, I don't know, because I think Worms have done a good... I don't know, I haven't played the latest ones. I used to think that... I wonder if Worms are doing their IP justice. Like, if you could do like a spiritual successor and whether there'd be a market for that. Or if you could find a way of doing Worms, but like much easier, you know. One of the things I didn't like about Worms was the skill curve of launching bombs and stuff. Like, if you were good at figuring out where your bomb was going to land, you'd win all the games. I think it would be more fun if that was like an RPG stat. So like a worm would have an accuracy and you would just tell them where to shoot and like they would shoot somewhere within that range depending on how accurate they were with that weapon. That would have been good. Yeah, I used to like worms. Okay, so Chicken Rain works. That's really nice. And yeah, made that happen really quickly. Cool. If we wanted to spawn more items, we could find some more formal way of doing it rather than having a bool and a timer just sitting on the GM. So, test Chicken Rain. Tested and works. Okay, so Armored Explosion. So let's have a look at this. So explosion is going to happen on the object character. Okay. And when we call explosive explosion. Okay, so yeah, armored, for example. I don't know why I put this armored artifacts. So the person that loses the armor is the object character. Okay, yeah, that will work. God, we've got a great turnout today. 7 concurrent views right now. That's like really high for me. The highest concurrent views I've ever had was when it went up to like 150 or something like that, and it was because I'd let this, like, if you go on OBS, and I'm not going to show OBS in case it has some like weirdness on it, but like if you, so what happened is I stopped streaming on YouTube, so I pressed the end stream button on YouTube and then walked away from the computer, but the button was still on OBS. And then what happened, I guess, is after a while it just started streaming with the default settings. I didn't even know that was possible. And so there was an empty chair sitting there for like an hour as a stream, and that got the most views that I've ever got. And I think it's probably because there's some website that like finds people who've left their stream on to just find like embarrassing moments and stuff. That's my guess. Or like the YouTube algorithm said, okay, streamer, here's your shot. We're gonna send you a bunch of we're gonna show your stream to a bunch of people, and it just happened to happen on one of these accidental streams where I was sitting in an empty chair. So then everyone would have like left immediately, and YouTube would have said, right, okay, let's never boost this guy in the algorithm again. But yeah, but thanks for everyone joining. Appreciate it. Yeah. Also, if you're that's a good idea. If you're making a game for the first time, maybe make a game that already exists, so you don't have to worry about design. You're just going to figure out how to code. Try telling that to me when I was first coding, because I made a game called Blacksmith, which is like completely new game, RPG mechanics, 20 hours to complete, like, I did not keep it simple on my first run. Okay. So that works, and I'm just confident that's going to work. I don't know why I wrote that down, because it looked like they were coming from the right spot. And then get rid of character sprite renderer script. Okay, yeah, we could do that. Just a little bit of, I think, slight optimization. So on our prefab character container, we have a sub thing called character yeah. You know what? I'm not going to bother with this, because basically this just needs to have a list. Okay, what I'll do, the first game, I think it took me a couple years, but like I was learning to make it. And also for the first 6 months while I was working on Blacksmith, or longer, I was working like 30 hours a week as an English teacher in Madrid. And I've got a picture of it somewhere, but it's like, there's a picture of me like in my teaching shirt, and it's Madrid and it was hot, so like my trousers were off, I had pants on, I had like ashtray full of stuff, I had a cup of tea on this desk that was like a square, a tiny square, with a crappy old laptop, sitting on a couple ice packs, but and I would code like on the train on the way to and from my classes and stuff, and I would be coding until like 3 a.m. It didn't have kids at the time, yeah. So and I think all in it took me about 2 years to complete, or like a year and a half. And yes, I think I got quite lucky on my first game, or maybe it was like that kind of beginner's luck, and you're putting loads of effort and time into it, probably more than I would usually put in. And I got really lucky because we got invited to be part of the Yogscast Humble Bundle Jingle Jam. And we ended up getting completely shafted. Like they were so the Yogscast, they were playing through all of the games on the Jingle Jam. And when they got to my game, they decided to take a lunch break, and when they came back, they did not continue the game, which is a bit annoying. And they kept having to like go out and meet fans to like give them hugs and stuff. It's like weird shit. But yeah, Yogscast, they're huge. And they kind of shafted me. But also, I don't know whether that game would have been as successful if it wasn't part of that. The thing is, as part of this Jingle Jam, we were just giving away... So we gave away like 40,000 keys for free, basically. And yeah, that was a mistake. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we sold more copies as a result of that, or whether we just gave our game away for free. Who knows? But yeah, interesting story. One little tip, by the way. If you ever get an email from someone asking for keys, tell them to just block them and report them. Just block and report. Because if someone's going to ask for a key, they're going to do it through like an official channel like Twitter or YouTube or whatever it is you favour. Okay, so where was I? Get rid of character sprite renderer script. Okay, so we're going to take everything in character sprite renderer. This is just a really minor thing that doesn't affect anything, but it's on my list. And I don't want to be lazy, so let's do it. So we just take all of that, put that on character container, and I'll just put it at the bottom for now. I'm not thinking too much about where it should go. Animator audio source. Okay, so that's there. Oh, characters. Wait. No, don't delete that. Don't compile that. Because I need to... Oh, yeah, I did start watching From. Is that the one... Is that the one where people end up in like a random town and shit is happening? Is that the right one? I think I watched the first season of that. And I thought it was interesting enough. Someone needs to make a Below Deck game. That's a fun reality TV show. Sorry, that's just what I've been watching. Okay, so Animator is on the sprite render, audio source is there, death audio source, but I need to take these lists. So let's go, yeah, so that's character container. I want to take this list, and this is not tidy, but, and put it on character container. Can I paste the list? I can, very nice. And then we take this, copy, just to save myself having to do it manually. Yeah, I like that show. How would you gamify that? Because what happens in it? It's like... What happens in From? It's like they're there, they can't leave. But it's like a colony, they're trying to survive. But like if they leave, then the monsters get them, or when it's nighttime. Sounds like a survival game. Okay, so then that's all of that. And then this would have that, that, and that. And then we go ahead and we actually just delete the entire script. So we go character sprite render, delete bravely or stupidly. Always a fine line between those two things. And then we get rid of the missing script here. Oh, it hasn't compiled. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we'll just get rid of that, remove component. And then in here, there's going to be a whole bunch of errors now. Oh, okay. That sounds a bit like, did you hear about that game? Like Manly Badass Heroes YouTube channel had it. It's like, there's that game where like people come to your door and you have to decide whether to let them in or not. And then you have to like keep an eye on them, and like because some of them are skinwalkers and some of them aren't, and the more non-skinwalkers you protect, like the better your score. But obviously, like if you let a skinwalker in, you die. Everyone dies, and it's like a dialogue game. It's like noticing details, and you've got to figure out whether someone's just crazy and traumatized by the weird post-apocalyptic world, or if they're just like actually a skinwalker. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so character sprite render is not a thing, and yeah, thank you. Here's all my errors. So I need to go through all of these and basically just say, just delete that. And I'm gonna do it manually. I could do a big find and replace, but that's error prone. And I feel like this is going to be slightly better optimized, because rather than like accessing another script, it's just there it is. And it's cleaner, and it's tidier, and it's another bit that's like slightly better than it was before. And I'm going to go find... Wait, death audio source? What's that? Okay. Oh, what was that? Death audio source. That's a different... Well, I mean, you could, like, it's a fairly broad concept. But like, yeah, I mean, it could be, it sounds like it could be like a RimWorld mod. Have you played RimWorld? RimWorld is absolute must play in my opinion. Death audio source. Death audio, where is that? It's just sitting in there. Okay, I need to remember to do that. Can I do that now? Will it let me? Will it let me do that now? Even though we haven't really compiled? I guess it will, and hopefully it remembers this. Death audio source is that. Okay. Right. Yeah, like, so, you've got, like, a colony simulator. God, this is so awkward. Find on adding buffs. Like, that's probably not very well optimized. So you would just, it would be like a colony simulator, but you've got to have these things up. And then you've got that kind of like, God, someone was pitching a game to me. Someone I worked with as a freelancer, a guy called Henry Kelly. He's like he's really, really talented guy. Like if you're like really cool guy, got ADHD and he talks a lot, but it's great. If you're like, I think I've got undiagnosed ADHD. I could keep up with him. But he's really talented guy. He worked at Ubisoft as an environment artist, and he's just so good at what he does. And he started making a game called Airlock. So go check that out if you're interested. I'm not sure the Steam page is up. But yeah, he's working on that solo because, like a lot of people, he's just been bouncing between studios, mismanaged studios that have to lay off people. And so he pitched this game, and it's like you've got like a little colony underground, and then you've got to like go out and do like third-person action, sort of like Last of Us mixed with Fallout Shelter, if that makes sense, right? You have a dog, and you've got to go get resources and bring them back to the base, and then you upgrade your base with those resources, and you rescue people, and so it's like a bit of a colony. And there was this, and so he didn't take this idea. He was going in a completely different direction. But I was like, so you can walk around in your base first person, or you can have the view which is like Fallout Shelter, where you've got the side-on view of this like underground base. Iron Bridge games. No, I don't think so. Project Zomboid is great. I love Project Zomboid. And so there was this question, and the sort of design director / like head of ops guy had the same feedback. It was like, why would I need to use the first person mode in this base? And I started coming up with crazy cool ideas that he didn't like because he's going in a different direction. But I want to keep this because it's like you've got this like Among Us type situation. You've got to bring these people into your base, but it's kind of like The Thing. Remember The Thing? Which is kind of an early version of Among Us, right? It's like, which one is the alien? And you've got people in your base, and at any point they could be like replaced. So yeah, you would have little sections where like a vent would break, meaning aliens are going to spawn somewhere in the base, so you've got to go there and shoot them, and you've got like people to protect you. Again, like Fallout Shelter. But there could be sequences where like someone is a skinwalker, and you'd have these characters, and they would just like move a bit differently if they're a skinwalker, if they're an alien, you know, or like their speech patterns would change, and it would start like really obvious, like the aliens are learning how to mimic you. So it would start with a really obvious one, like they say gnarly shit. They're like, "Oh, your brain looks delicious today." Or like, I don't know, what's like some weird shit that only an alien would say, like, your humor is rising. Like, you would know then that they're an alien. But it could just be a character trait. But then as they get more advanced, it would become more subtle, and you would have to, and they would be using pretty normal speech patterns, but matched only to like that character. So that would give you a reason to like walk around in this space and just go check on your people and be like, hey, are you an alien now? And so you could like go and ask them questions, and the first person vibe would mean that like once they've realized that you're onto them, they might just switch and come at you, and then yeah, you would be able to craft items like a blood test to just immediately 100% check if someone's an alien or not. And then, of course, you've got that risk versus reward of if they're the alien and you go out on a mission and come back, you could find yourself with like 3 dead colonists and a bunch of shit wrecked, or like some injured colonists because that was a skinwalker and it attacked someone. But then if you cast them out and they're friendly, then of course you just straight up lose a person and morale gets really low. And then I guess you would execute them and then do an autopsy and find that no, they weren't an alien. You just killed someone because they're like neurodiverse or something, you know, and they don't talk like normal people. You know, I thought that was a cool idea. How did I get onto that? Yeah, so like having a colony where like people can get replaced and you don't know who's the Cylon, you know? Could be cool. Anyway, random game idea. Yeah, interesting. I have to stop myself from like really plumbing, because then it's like, yeah, you get all the stuff from Interrogation Simulator and you have certain questions that you can ask them to find out if they're a skinwalker. The thing is, you would just spend the whole time doing that. Like every time you come back from a mission, you have to interview all of your staff. That would get kind of tedious. Oh yeah, Ironbridge. Is that what he goes by? Ironbridge Games. Oh yeah, he did do that. Yeah, I think he was like part of that or something. But this is his first game that he's like made solo. So I don't know if Ironbridge Games is him, but yeah, he's a cool guy. I wish him the best. Like I think he might run into some problems with the game that he's making. And I've warned him about those, but like any good soldier, he like me as well, doesn't give a shit. Just, I'm going to try making the game I want to make, which is, you know, that's the way to do it. Just if you have an idea, do it, and then you'll figure out yourself all the things that went wrong with it, and you'll carry those into your next project. Someone could have told me, Otis, don't make a bloody factory/colony game. That's way too ambitious. You need certain things in order to make that kind of game good, and those are things that you don't have. So don't. And I wouldn't have listened. I might have. Depends who would have told me. I don't know. I don't have like you know, I'm a typical kid who didn't spend much time with his dad, and probably wouldn't have listened. Or I don't know, like when someone doesn't spend any time with you and then gives you a piece of advice from like on high, you're like, who are you? Good for independence, I guess. It's the kind of person who does well making independent games, being a solo dev, just someone who like doesn't listen. Why is player controller switched off for a second? Why is that? Oh, because it's switched off by default and then switched on for the characters. Yeah. Okay, that should work. So that's a fairly big change, but it's pretty clean actually. We're just cutting out a middleman there. Yeah. Yeah, it's like someone's like... So I remember like my dad occasionally gave me good... Like I barely know him. But he occasionally gave me good advice, like with a girlfriend. He was like, look, this one isn't going to work out. You should break up with her. And I was like, fuck off. You don't know shit. He was right. But the problem is no one's going to listen to you. Like having good advice is... 10% of the battle. The real battle is being someone who someone is going to accept advice from. So it's like my time at Jagex, for example. I had good advice. I was saying all the things that they needed to hear, and if they had gone with my advice, they would be doing a lot better with RuneScape 3 right now. However, I don't see why they would listen to me. I'm just some guy who's made a bunch of indie games that has like barely scraped minimum wage from selling my own games. So what the hell do I know? When they can listen to people who've been at the company for 10 years. Of course, it's that funny sort of catch-22 of well, it's not a catch-22. It's just like the industry listens to experience, which is mad because the people who are experienced in the industry obviously don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? That's not the case for all of them. But like for a lot of people in the industry, they don't know what they're talking about, or like they won't hire anyone who hasn't got 10 years experience in the industry. But if you have 10 years experience in the industry and all you've made is crap, you're no better off making judgments about games than my mate Tommy, who's never made a game in his life. He just plays them, and he's kind of played enough to know what he's talking about, you know. And that's the problem with the industry. It's going to be a feedback loop. It's the blind leading the blind. There are a few people at Jagex as well. There are a few people who know what they're talking about, who are good and are clever. But the people who make the decisions don't know how to identify the clever ones from the stupid ones. And they use bad metrics to figure that out. And it's like there's a lot of designers who are like, okay, they're like fine, I guess, but they wouldn't survive in an indie world. So you've got people who probably wouldn't be able to make a game by themselves that makes a profit and gets reviewed positively, running teams of like 50 people. If you can't figure out how to make a small profit with a small team, how the hell are you going to make a big profit with a big team? It's obviously not that simple. But yeah, sorry, I'm being a bit bitter, I guess. No, it's just like, yeah, why would you listen to someone? It's having the right ideas is half the battle. Having good ideas is not even half the battle. It's 10% of the battle. The rest of it is giving people a reason to listen to you. Right, so we did that, and we managed to make our to-do list smaller. I'm going to put this on the tomorrow list. It may or may not end up on the tomorrow list. I may or may not end up doing it. This I'm going to put on. I'm going to try and just do this. It's really important key art, but I just kind of end up making the game. Okay, shall we have a crack at this dialogue system then? Because this is going to be really simple. Where basically, and the actual like code to run it is going to be really simple. I think maybe for the sake of, yeah, so we have hud.time, and I think I'm just going to make a new coroutine, public i.e. numerator story, don't know what to call it, and basically when this runs, this is going to ask, very similar to enemy spawner, it's going to say what time is it, wait until, and I'll just grab one of these, wait until a time. And I'm probably going to make one for each mission. So it would be like story 1, let's say. And then we wait until... Well, we'll just launch this at the beginning. Wait until... HUD should probably be capitalized, never mind. Wait until... seconds equals 1. Like, we just need to figure out where to put this, and then we'll say open the dialogue screen, where we'll say we'll have Sean or we'll have Randar come in and say, this is what's up, I am here to fight monsters, I'm here to fight the orcs, And then this would be like, yeah, the sort of wait until you press kind of thing. So probably, yeah. In fact, this shouldn't run off GM. This could run off a little screen, and this screen should be able to appear anywhere. So it might be a don't destroy on load object. So let's make it work in the title screen. And so we're going to create UI. We're going to create an empty object. No, we're going to create an empty object in the canvas. No, we're going to create a new canvas. New canvas. And we'll call this dialog panel, dialog canvas. Okay. I'm going to copy this because it's this screen space, it's making it work. It's like the canvas scaler and all that shit. I think we want scale with screen size, but to make it work, you want it to actually match the height. So this should be like better built into Unity. But here's a good tip. So with Unity, like you can make your UI like scale to the screen size, right? But you're going to want to make it work in 16:9 and 21:9, right? And if you say scale it to the height, it will mean that the UI, like if you switch from 16:9 to 21:9, it will just add space that you probably, when you're talking about UI, you're probably not going to want to use the space over here. You just want to leave that blank. Leave that for actual like in-game stuff. Sorry, you can't see where my hands are, but these bits at the side, you just leave that blank. And so this is the setting that you want. You want to sort of build it in 16:9 because that's like the most common one still, and make it work in there. And then if you have this scaled up here, this over here, and this set to normal resolution, you should be all right. So dialog canvas will have, let's just start building the obvious things. An image, which should be like character 1 image, and this will be a big old boy. So let's give it Randar. No, Sean. He's still called as a sprite. And unfortunately, there's no way to flip. So on the sprite renderer, you can just click a tick box, which flips it. In an image, you do have to make it -1 scale. And we want the width to be 72 by 96, because this is the actual width of the character. And then I think if we just scale that up to, I guess, 8, -8, right in there. See, that's awkward. I really wish image just had a flip X, flip Y tick box, just like sprite renderers do. And then he is going, so I don't think we need to worry about like positioning him at the bottom left corner or anything. So I think we want him to just be kind of in the middle there for now. Like it's, and then there's going to be a dialog bar. I'm not worrying about the looks here, and I like to have round numbers. I'm not worrying about the looks here. And we want to have then a UI panel. And for now, we'll use one of the panels I've made, even though it's not going to quite fit. Plain panel is actually reference to nothing. Oh no, yeah, that's just got the box. Okay, yeah, we'll do level up panel, scale that up, and then this is not going to be stretch. We just want it to be a size. And we go, well, actually, it's not going to hurt to just have anchors. Put the pivot to the bottom, and then it should just be like 10 from the top. Yeah, 10 from the bottom. And then width like this, and this would certainly be behind the character, And again, I'm not like a whiz at UI, but I'm going to look at some reference points. So Monster Train 2 dialogue, try and find an image of that and kind of like rob my dimensions from there. I can't find the image that I'm looking for. So Monster Train would have like little moments where Monster Train 2 has little like dialogue sections. Monster Train, why can't I see it? Monster Train 2 story. Like, what if I find a YouTube Monster Train 2 dialogue? Bear with me, I'm just trying to get... okay, should I just do Monster Train 2 playthrough? So hard to find... Just, oh, there's Retromation. He made a video of one of my games. I like him, but he's probably not going to be looking at much of the dialogue between the scenes. Let's turn the sound off there. So I'm just scrolling to find the bits where the characters talk to each other between runs, but he might have just like cut that all out. This is annoying. I'm just looking for a very simple thing. Monster Train 2 dialogue screen. I'm just looking for an image where two of the characters are talking to each other, because it does come up in the game, and that's kind of what I'm trying to mimic. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Let's go away, go away. Can I just take a screenshot of that image, pop it into Miro, I just want to get a sense of the dimensions here, because it doesn't come naturally to me. But like, here we go. We got that. So you've got character, and so the character, so they are like appearing behind the panel. So yeah, that felt awkward to me, but I guess the thing is, if you cut off his chin, like you're cutting off his whole body. So the image would want to be like just above, and then looking at where have we gone? So looking at this seems to come up about a third, which is about what we have here, and has like a decent amount of space between, probably to like showcase the, so yeah, let's call this dialogue panel. Like, doesn't have to be that big. And obviously I don't just want to like straight copy it necessarily, but I want to, like, this works and I need to modify it to make it work for what I want. But yeah, like the bits from behind the character can kind of pop, like if he's got hair like Randar does, he can, like, we definitely don't want it there. That sort of seems too high. About here seems right, like 1 pixel away from his chin. Right? That's not a round number, but it will do. Let's go 135. And so then we're going to want another one of these. Character 2 image. Would be not reverse X. And would be 625. So that's 2 characters talking to each other. If we want another character to pop in, we can do that, but this is like the basic. And then the dialogue panel would have UI, Text Mesh Pro. Everything's Text Mesh Pro now. And annoyingly, it doesn't just get the font that I want. Oh, printing box is nice. Why haven't I used printing box before? That's really nice. Because actually, we might... I like this one, but I don't think it's particularly readable, and that might just be annoying, but it is in the style of the game. So let's just go with that, and I think the second one is the one that has all of the assets for like translations. What, comms? What do you mean comms? Oh, what, like chatting? I don't know what you mean by comms. And then so this would be a stretch. So we just want it to be like use all the space it has. So, but like 20, maybe 50. Okay, and could probably... Oh, no, don't do that. Could probably be a bit larger. But I think we are going to want to use, like, auto size. With the max being... I think yeah, 56 looks good. So comms meaning languages, or this, sorry. So, like... basically, like, with the story... So I want it to have a story. That's another thing that sets it aside. And I think it's a fun thing to have. Like, sorry, I'm just going to wait. This should be a panel. I think a panel is basically an image, but we just want this to be a little black fade. So basically, like, there's a story, meaning, so like throughout the game, as part of the story, there'll be little moments of dialogue. Wait, title. Why is it everything appearing? Why is the fade? Why does that appear to be coming above no matter what I do? Surely if I put this below, it should be coming over. See positions. Why is that not being... Oh, is that just... Oh, but that shouldn't be like that. This should just be coming... Is that because it's coming from a different canvas? This should be hiding everything behind it, but it's not like, it should be fading everything behind it, but it's not... Why is it... I would have thought that... Okay, maybe it's better like that then. But I want the canvas to be on a separate layer. And I want it to... I thought... if this canvas comes before or after, that would determine... But I guess it doesn't block other bits of UI. Like, it just ignores... It ignores the order. Interesting. That's annoying. That doesn't seem intuitive. Does it want me to put it in the same canvas? Is that the way that it wants me to handle this? I guess that won't be too difficult. And it can be a canvas within a canvas. Is that okay? Can you put a canvas within a canvas? How's that going to work? Yeah, non-root canvases will not be scaled. No, I want this to be its own canvas, and I want it to hide everything. I want it to come in front of everything else by arranging it like this. Why does that not work? That's really annoying. Unity, make one canvas above another. Screen space overlay. Yeah. So, oh, okay. It's just there. Really easy. God, I'm stupid. Big, easy option called sort order. I just didn't see it. Okay, that's good. So that deals with that. Because I don't want to have to like parent it to another canvas and deal with all of that. Okay. So this is really simple. What else? I mean, we might have other functionality like characters. Other characters may pop in and say something, and but essentially that's that. And then it's just going to be a simple like click to advanced dialogue or press any button to advanced dialogue. So we will make that on the canvas. Yeah, and then the canvas can just be switched on and off. So canvas. So dialogue manager. So it's called this dialogue canvas. And yeah, put that in my nice and tidy scripts folder. And then the first thing we want to do is quite simply give it its bits. So we're using tengine.ui and we're using tmpro. Just having flashbacks to when I would be like, oh, public image, but I hadn't done this, and I'd be like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And I would have to spend like 20 minutes troubleshooting that. And it's nice just to like not have to do that. Okay, so this would be, so from the top, what's this image? Oh, fade. We don't need to mess with that. Character 1, character 2, and text. Okay. So we won't put like the coroutine on this because we're just going to want to be able to switch this object on and off, and we're just accessing that. So just to like test this out, so we would say if, and yeah, launching these story parts. So start. Oh, like no. Let's do this in start routine. I think. where do we actually handle all of this? Where do we have so set player? So that's in something called loading screen. Okay, so we set the player, and then after all of this has happened, we say story, and we go switch where do we keep mission? Dot mission? Where do you keep mission? Oh, it's missions.current mission, mission.stage. Character select.mission. If mission, if yeah, and then so we go case mission dot then colon, and then something something, and then break semicolon. Oh, I'm so bad at writing switch cases. Like I have to reference the previous one that I've made every time. Okay, switch. You do case colon case thingy colon. Okay, so what's wrong with that? Case, so that's a string, and that's also a string. What do you mean a constant value is expected? So what you want me to say? That's awkward, because I want to reference the mission itself. Missions dot mission one dot names, just that. If that is equal to that, then do the thing. What's wrong with that? A constant value is expected. I'd rather write a switch case there. I'd rather write if statement spaghetti then. If if that is equal to that, then do that. Don't we have a mission one coroutine? Oh, story one. Let's just call this mission one. For consistency. Okay. So that's a bit spaghetti, but it's okay. Right. So I'm going to go for lunch now. I'll be back at 1. And then we'll start like, we'll do open the dialogue screen, make the character say something, make it so you can click through, and make it sort of tidy, make the text kind of write itself and that kind of thing. We're not going to do voices or anything, but just get the basics of this working, so we can say, if you're doing mission 1, wait 1 second, open up this screen, and have a dialogue play out. And of course, and there's going to be all kinds of funk that is going to mean that, like, can I exit this? So I'm going to have to sort of say, like, can I access the options menu during this? And I have to put in exceptions to say, no, you can't access the options menu while doing this. And yeah, I'll make this work. But yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, cheers. Thanks so much for joining. Really great turnout today. 90 views. Nice. So yeah, really pleased about that. And I will see you again at 1, where we're going to do story dialogue stuff and whatever other stuff we can figure out. Knocking shit off the list. All right, cheers. Have a nice lunch. See you soon. Bye.